There's Rod connecting right now. Doug, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. How you doing? Interacting with the fans, on social media and whatever, and they're interested to hear about some guys that maybe they thought would get a few more touches this year. And I was wondering if you could talk about them. Kyron Cumby, wide receiver, Luke Ford, and then freshman running back Reggie Love. What have you seen from those three guys in practice? And do you expect them to become more of an integral part of the offense moving ahead?
Well, obviously Luke Ford is obviously getting playing time. He's playing quite a bit. And as we continue to play, I'm sure he'll become even more integral with what we're doing. So I know he's definitely playing. Kyron, we're getting him some snaps in, trying to get him more involved as well, try to take advantage of his speed at times. We've tried the last couple games to just kind of start getting him in a little bit more. And then Reggie Love, Reggie's been very good, very impressive, but at the same time, you can only play so many backs, and we're trying to kind of, nail down as far as who our top couple backs are and start giving those guys more.
Way a little bit more.
Well, I think the quarterback's got to be able to continue to read coverage at times and distribute the football, like I said, depending on what coverage the guys are playing. There's times we've tried to target those guys. There's times where, they maybe haven't been as targeted the first or second option, but that doesn't mean that Luke isn't deserving of the ball or whatnot. There'll be times, like I said, the ball will find those guys. We just got to continue to keep getting our quarterback's eyes in the right place, the right time, and continue to understand how to read defenses and distribute the ball appropriately.
Talk about Kyron. What have you seen from him? He's got some jets about him, a little bit of speed. Do you like to give him the ball in various different ways? Jet sweeps, screen passes, and that kind of stuff.
Well, we'd definitely like to try to, and it's something we may try to continue to keep expand as we go. We've tried to play a lot of 12 personnel, to be honest with you. So when you play 12, there's room for two wide receivers. Well, Josh Bebe is one of those guys, and the other guy is Casey Washington or Brian Hightower. So you're talking about bigger receivers, whereas Kyron's more of a slot. So does he really fit out there as an outside receiver? Yeah, maybe, but right now we're trying to figure out how all that fits. He definitely's got a place in the 11 personnel sets. We'll just continue to keep playing with it, and who knows, we'll try some different things this week.
At the quarterback position, Lovey, of course, wouldn't name a starter, but is there an open competition this week? You got three guys. Are they going to be battling it out for the start this week at Rutgers?
Yeah, we're going to let those guys take reps. Obviously we'll get guys back, which will be a good thing, have a little bit more competition. And once again, we'll let it play out and see. All those guys have been fairly close anyway throughout the season, throughout camp and whatnot. So we'll have a chance to get Isaiah back. Hopefully we get a chance to get Matt back as well to go along with Karan, and we'll just let them kind of take some reps and see who can separate themselves throughout the course of the week and go from there.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Jeremy.
Hey, Rod. Hope you're well. Isaiah gets back Wednesday, Lovey said. What have you been able to do with him just through Zoom? And 3 days, is that enough to be ready for a game?
He's on the Zoom call with us this morning. He's on with us anytime we have meetings. So he's getting all the coaching in the film room that Karan and everybody else was getting while he was away. So mentally, he's getting the same coaching, same talk points that those guys are getting. What Isaiah missed was the physical reps, right? So that'll be the key to get him back in order to get him, back incorporated what we're doing. There's a lot of the philosophy, the base things that we do or won't change. It's just a matter of how we mix things up, how we change formations up at times. It'll be, I don't want to say old hat for him because he hasn't had a ton of reps, but he's had enough reps that he knows what we're doing. And I know he'll be excited to get back.
you said before he was out that he was making big strides. What were the biggest strides he had made? What areas of the game?
Well, I think he was, once again, starting to understand and get more comfortable in what we were trying to do, understanding the reads, understanding, once again, how defenses were trying to play. And that was going against our defense now. So you're not going against another team's defense. That's a whole different animal. It's a whole different look sometimes. So there's some adjustment period that happens with that. But going against our defense, he was starting to understand how they're trying to play you, how they're trying to defend you. And, his decision-making, his throwing was much better. He was you could tell he was starting just to get more comfortable as time went on. Unfortunately, he got caught in the contact tracing, so he's had to miss the last 2 weeks, but he'll be good to go this week, hopefully.
Thank you, Rep.
Thanks.
Scott Beatty.
Rod, my question is around tape, both on what you've seen for your team and what changes need to be made after that, and what you've seen on tape from Rutgers.
Well, first with Rutgers, I mean, they're a much improved team. You can tell they're well coached. You can tell that their scheme's different than what it's been in the past. They're a much more aggressive scheme. They've got some newer guys as well, some transfers. That's actually helped them. And, they basically are playing at a different level right now than what they have. So, I just think the fact that they're much more aggressive, much more talented than probably what they were is going to present a challenge. And you can tell in their tape that they're much more competitive than what they've been in the past. As far as our team, I tell our guys all the time that, I don't care who we play. I really don't. I'm more concerned about us. We are our own worst enemy right now in terms of, having, stupid penalties, things that negate us progress. We're moving the ball from 20 to 20, and then we get downside of 20, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot with a false start, a holding penalty, something that's basically stalemating us. And that's what we got to eliminate. And I told our guys this morning, it's our older guys too. It's not always the younger, it's our older guys, it's our veterans. So we got to make sure we're more locked in and more disciplined moving forward.
Nico.
Hey, Rod, looking at the quarterback competition, coming into last week's game, what did you maybe see from Karan? I guess with Karan coming in after seeing a game of what he could do on the field, for you as an offensive coordinator, do you kind of like that challenge of, having to maybe adjust the game plan towards some different skill sets out there?
I'd rather have the guy in week out, so I know exactly what we have. But, at the same time, we know what we're running. We know what we're doing. We just got to be better at it. And, each quarterback, I tell them, you're always a snap away. So with Karan, he allows you to do a little bit more quarterback-friendly run game. Isaiah, those guys, maybe you run a little bit more design quarterback calls. The throw game and all that type of stuff a lot of times doesn't change. Maybe you gear to how you call it based upon their strengths, but it's more so, it allows you more flexibility in the run game with those guys. So, do you enjoy it? I enjoy coaching all of them, to be honest with you. To me, it's always a challenge, no matter who's in there, when you face against a good defense like we faced the last couple of weeks.
Rod, do you look at the box score maybe on a Saturday night or a Sunday and see that Chase had 4 carries and go, that's not right, that we got to do a better job of that? Or is that just the course of a game in which Mike Epstein had a really good game on Saturday and he was moving the ball for you? Well,
we definitely need to get Chase the ball more. That's definitely, we need to do that because he's a guy that, to me has home run type ability. Now, once he hits a crease, there's a good chance that he's not going to get caught. So it's definitely a guy that we need, I think, to get more involved in what we're doing. And that'll be the plan moving forward. At the same time, we're still like Mike Epstein as well. I mean, we think we have 2 good backs there that we can win with. And moving forward, Mike ran hard for us, and he's just steady. He really is. So, yeah, there is times where you look, you say, well, we got to get this guy more playing time and see what he can do moving forward. So that'll be something we're going to continue to look at as a staff. I mean, we talked about that last week as well. And I think we got to continue to expand that even more.
And you mentioned to Doug about your 12 personnel that you're kind of running. Is that something that you're used to, is to having those two tight ends in the slot outside of the line of scrimmage a little bit, and how your offense kind of works that way? Or is that something that's kind of been a new innovation because of the depth you have at tight end this year?
Well, no, it's more of the depth we have at tight end, and, you know, having the flexibility to get them guys on the field. You know, they have a skill set, I think, at least Daniel does, and DJ both, that they can flex out as well as play in the core. So when you're playing two of them, you can have both of them in the core. You can have one of them in the core and one of them out flexed out, and try to make a defense stay base personnel, and hopefully you can create some type of matchup out there a little bit. Daniel's been pretty good out there in space at times. We just, you know, he's had three different quarterbacks to throw to him right now. We got to get some continuity there. I think that will help that out a lot more moving forward. But, you know, I just think, you know, with the guys we have, they all have the ability to flex out and spread if you need to. Some are better than others. Some are better than more of the inline stuff. So, you know, we try to just to kind of get, you know, use all of them and try to maximize their skill sets as much as possible if we can within the system of what we're running. I mean, I'm not going to line up in two back and two tight power. That's not who I am. That's not who we are. So if you're expecting that, you don't hold your breath. But at the same time, if we want to be able to get the best 11 out on the field at one time, and be able to try to spread people out. Once again, that's our philosophy: spread people out and create one-on-one matchups somewhere, whether it be in the run game or the pass game.
My last quick question, Rod, is how have you been able to maintain, conversations or at least meetings or, that interaction with Brandon since he's been out? I know he won't play this weekend, but how are you able to keep him engaged once he's able to come back and get on the practice field with you and get out in games? Yeah, well, he was able to, be in Zoom meetings. Once again, we Zoom him up as much as possible. And then, then he was also able to be in meetings today. So it was good. It was, he's in tune mentally with what we're doing. He understands, Brandon understands what we're doing probably more so than any of them. But once again, like you said, being able to stay in tune with it and stay sharp with it mentally, that's the key when you're out. And I think he's been able to do that. Thanks, Rod. Thank you.
Colin?
Yeah, Rod, getting Doug Kramer back on the offensive line, what do you hope that does to maybe help get the run game going, the pass game to a lesser extent, but really keep the run game going, and having Doug out, having the offensive line kind of jumbled to a certain extent, how did that affect what you guys were trying to do on the offensive side the last couple of games?
Yeah, well, first off, getting Doug Kramer back, that's one of our leaders on our football team. So he's an important part of not just the offensive line unit, but our entire offense, our entire team. So can't wait to get him back and excited about that. And then plus allows KG to go back over to his guard spot. And I thought KG did a really good job at center while he was there. But it allows us, I think, to be, probably back more to normal, stronger, as far as some of our leadership and our experience. So, yeah, hopefully that will help us become more consistent in what we're trying to do within the run game. And, once again, pass game wise, we've had a bad showing at Wisconsin, didn't play well at all. Purdue, was kind of up and down a little bit. There were some good things, some positive, but there were some negatives, obviously. And then I thought this last game, I didn't think we had much rhythm, just too many self-implosion mistakes. So, we need to get on track because we got a senior laden team. We got a veteran team. Too many mistakes for us not to play better than what we are. So excited to get him back, to try to get some normalcy back.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
Josh?
Hey, Coach. My question about Doug was just answered, but another guy you guys are expected to get back is James McCourt. He's a senior, and over the past couple games, seems you guys elected to go for it maybe in opposing territory instead of kicking a field goal. So what does it mean to have someone like McCourt back this week?
Oh, it's huge because, we think he's one of the better kickers and probably in the Big Ten. I mean, he's got a great leg, had tons of confidence. I know if we get the ball around the 35-yard line, he's in range. So it's a great thing to have, position to have in terms of knowing it's a strength, because when you're in a 2-minute situation, or if you need points, you know, kind of, you know, you don't have to get all the way down to the 25 or the 30. You can be in the 35 or even the fringe 37, and he's got a shot at being pretty damn consistent at that.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thanks.
Hey, Coach, could you see using 2 quarterbacks this week, and what would make that happen?
Well, I mean, possibly. I mean, I never go in saying we have to use this many. I mean, there's you know, I've always said Isaiah, there's a place for him, and you want to have him touch the ball somehow. But you know, whether he's playing quarterback, whether he's playing wide out, yeah, you can see 2. I hope you don't see 3. If you're seeing 3, that means we probably got an injury, or we're not playing as well as what we should. We should never go over 2. I would hope not.
I know you're thinking about this game only, but do you have enough time with Brandon next week to get him the game against Nebraska? You think you'll have him soon enough to be able to have him play?
Yeah, I believe we will. We'll make it. We'll make time.
Kevin and Joe, please try to make it quick here.
Hey, Rod, good to see you. What we talked about on Saturday, seems like you guys keep falling in holes to start games. You know, you went down 14-0, I think, in all 3 games. Against Purdue, you guys were kind of able to get out of it and get back in that one. But you guys are very committed to the run, and I'm just wondering, what is it like to structure that offense and game plan when you're starting out down 14-0?
Well, you try to stay as much to the plan as you can for as long as you can, because we believe that if we can run the football, then we have a chance to win. So, you know, we believe in that. Lovey believes in that. I believe in that as well, but I also believe it helps your pass game. So if you can establish the run game, if you can try to take a defense and make them one-dimensional by trying to gang up, stop the run, then it opens up the throwing game. Same, vice versa. So, but we've always felt like if we could run the football effectively, then, you know, it always just opened up everything else offensively. So that's why we've been committed to it. You got 4 of 5 offensive linemen that are returning starters. It's been 3-year starters, 4-year starters. You know, to me, why wouldn't you, right? That to me, that should be your strength. You should be able to do those type of things, and they should be good enough to hold up in pass protection as well when you do want to throw it. And the better you can run, the more single coverage Josh Bebe and those guys will get. So I just think it tends to lead to that. Yet unfortunately, we've fallen a couple holes, but you know, part of that's us, right? I tell the offense, it's our job, it's our responsibility to get start out fast. If we don't start off fast and help our defense, then it's no different than them getting scored on. So, you know, to me, it's not just one way; it's both sides. We got to get out the gate a lot faster than what we've been. We've stalled way too many times early on, and once again, a lot of us because of just self-inflicted things, whether we hold a penalty, a misread, the stuff that we can't have happen in order for us to be a good football team.
Thanks, Coach.
Last one.
Rod, I'm assuming, do you build a script going into a game? And if so, how does shuffling, 3 different quarterbacks here in 3 weeks impact that and kind of impacts you guys getting out onto that right foot to avoid some of those deficits?
Yeah, well, the shuffling the quarterbacks won't be as much as an issue as what you think, because I always thought you got to have 3 ready to play anyway. Now, whether all 3 can play, and play at a high level, that's the question. But, that's the game. That's the goal, to get 3 guys ready to play. So 3 guys have always gotten reps with us. So in the way we structure our practice, I mean, it happens. I mean, our 1s get 4 reps in a series, our 2s get 4 reps, and our 3s get 2. So we'll go 4, 4, and 2, and then we'll rotate and get it, and then start over with the next set of rack of plays for our players. So all of them get the same plays. So you're getting repeats. So the guys that's not in right now, whether running with the 2s or 3s, they can watch the 1s and get the same plays, take mental reps. When they get in, they should never make a mistake because you see exactly what we're running. So that's how you get guys reps. You got to do it. You got to work efficiently. And our GAs do a great job of getting the scout team set up and lined up quickly so we can get as many reps as we can throughout the course of practice for these guys to get quality reps.
Thanks, Rod.
Appreciate it, Rod.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.